every assignment that I had was, I already know I wasn't the first choice, Dan. Like they said, choose this guy, choose this guy. And they looked at it and said, oh, Tony, I don't want to do that. Too much risk. So go find Goins. He'll do it. You know, like Mikey, they go find Goins. He'll do it. Because when you take the tough assignment and you fix it and you come out on top through teamwork and through tenacity, then you'll build a reputation. Like you build a brand. It becomes part of your brand.
I keep it real and stay flipping keys, no way. Eating good, I got a lot on my plate, but this is what I wanted, so I can't complain.
The Minority Reports podcast, where we keep it real, estate, and entrepreneurship education for the minority of 3% action takers. Here's your host, Billy the Kid, and co-host, Dan Delgado.
We're trying something different this time.
Whew. There's a lot of, this show is amazing. I just want to let you guys know, man.
Can I pat you on the back? Just pat each other on the back?
Actually, man, cheers. Actually, you know what? Cheers. Because, so the great thing is, this is after the show too. Normally we do our intros before, and, you know, we're very raw with our stuff. So we'll let you guys know maybe something that we might do in the future. But this interview is amazing. Those of you who want to get involved with the state, just in general, if you care about our state, and you need to watch this.
So we interviewed Tony Goins, the director of economic development
in Nebraska.
Wow,
and we're in his lounge right now, Cigar Lounge, which is amazing. We're definitely gonna be back for sure.
It's a great episode. I don't think we can hype it up enough, but you know, we still wanted to take some time to do a quick intro and throw it in there, even though we've already recorded it. But I mean, other than that, man, like, I'm gonna bring it up again, dude. You were on Bigger Pockets.
It's crazy. We actually, even today, it's crazy how things are just
snowballing,
developing.
man.
We won't announce it, but we're looking at some nice big things. We might hit out of the state here soon.
We might get out of the state here soon.
Do a couple things outside of the state with our podcast and just everything we got going on. So it's been a blessing. Like I said, the lunch meetings keep coming in. So and even if not through that podcast, but our podcast, if you guys feel free to reach out to us, we're just humans, and we love, if it's a great conversation, I'm all for it, especially over food. Can't go wrong with it.
And I love, definitely. You're right. I do want our listeners to reach out to us more and comment and subscribe and do all that stuff. But like, more than anything else, I think you and I both got into this because we just want to talk about success, about mindset. We focus on real estate, but this episode wasn't really focused on real estate at all. It was more mindset, man. This was huge, and for mindset. So definitely, if you're listening, like, that's going to be a huge theme that you're going to see today. And outside of that, man, I don't have anything new going, any business to talk. I guess I got book of the week.
Also, make sure you guys grab my book too. I'll keep repeating this for the next few episodes, man. BillyTheKid.com. If you go to that link, it has a link to Amazon. If you're out of state, you can grab the book on there. It comes out January 3rd. I don't know when this will air, so if it's before or after, you'll know. Either pre-order it or order it now. And then also at BillyTheKid.com, the great thing is I have 2 packages. You could order an autographed copy. Thanks to everybody that has done that already. And then there's package 2, which is the autographed copy. Also, you're going to get a PDF, plus you guys will get the audio version, which I'm finishing up. So BillyTheKid.com, the power of being uncomfortable. Get uncomfortable, baby. Man, I'm excited for this episode. Woo. Can't wait to watch this.
Goosebumps.
What book do you have, man?
So I actually recently started success coaching with one of our old guests, Doug Fitzgerald. And he has a book, and he plugged the book when he was on the show. It's called One Shot, One Life by Doug Fitzgerald. And I do want to take some time just to kind of talk about it a little bit and talk about my experience so far. The book itself was written by him, and he takes 5 pillars, as he calls it, and essentially the coaching program, what it does is it helps you prioritize and set goals based around what he considers, and I think anybody else would consider the same thing, to be really important aspects of your life. One of them is money. The next one's people, faith, work, and health. And so through this very detailed system, you try to figure out deep, raw, emotional almost I don't know how to describe it. I guess you just get really deep with it, and you really try to figure out what is important to you. Why is it important to you? And I don't want to give away too much of his coaching program, but I will say that the first assignment I don't know if assignment's the right word because it's not like that, but the first activity that you do in it is you write your own eulogy. Which to me, man, that was deep.
Yeah,
I couldn't really do that with a straight face or a dry eye because you start writing, and essentially when you write your own eulogy, you're writing what it is that you want your legacy to be, and you write. And I think we take for life for granted, and Tony mentions it in the episode today about just being grateful when you wake up every morning.
Mm-hmm.
We take that for granted, and so when you have an exercise like this that's so personal, it really helps you prioritize your life. So anyway, like I said, I don't want to give away too much of the program, but if you were, even if you didn't do any of the coaching, because I think he's got online coaching and then he's one-on-one coaching, but the book itself alone, if you really do it, it is centered a lot around faith, and because that is really important to him. So that definitely was a central part of it. But even everything else that isn't faith related, it really just helps you break down these different parts of your life. And you'll see that as you start writing these goals down, like people say, what is a goal without a plan is just a wish. It really helps you figure out what's important to you. What goals do I have? How am I going to get to that? To live, your best life. So anyway, One Shot, One Life by Doug Fitzgerald. Fantastic book. Really quick read.
I think I've read it a couple times.
I think if you, if you want to do the coaching, he does that too. I would definitely encourage you. I know it's not for everybody, but it's been amazing for me. So I just wanted to give him some props and thank him really for taking me on. And it's been a fantastic journey so far.
Awesome, man. Yeah, get that book. Like I said, I read it a couple times. Great.
Wait, his book or your book?
Both. Actually, yeah, get both. Why not?
Yeah. So yeah, man, we'll go ahead and get into the interview. This is a good one.
Well, let's get him going. Who do we have today?
Whatever.
Woo! Man, I'm super excited to be here. Had a little technical issues, but it's all good.
It's all good.
It's all good. We're here. I was talking about your back here at the wall here. I took a picture of it, which I would love to talk about that quote. I love it. But we are at Capital Cigar. We have, actually, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yeah, I'm Tony.
It's an honor to be here, so go ahead.
Partner and CEO of the Capital Cigar Lounge. As I was sharing, you asked me kind of why the concept came about. And I've been enjoying cigars for 30 years. I've lived in 13 cities, 10 states. And I've always had a place where we could congregate and enjoy a cigar and really think about business, think about building relationships and friendships. I often say that a cigar is the best diversity plan on the planet because at the end of the day, it transcends social, economic, religion, and politics. Over a great cigar, you find out what you have, that you have more in common than you do apart. And it slows you down so you can have a real conversation. Social media, there's some good things about it, but there's some bad things about it. People don't talk anymore.
Love that.
And it forces you to talk. So we didn't have this in Lincoln. And so my partner and I decided that we needed to create it. So the front part of the lounge, we came up with our mission and our value statements. Our mission statement is we create many vacations for our friends.
Love it.
All right.
Our values are treat customers like friends because #relationships matter. Create an unparalleled experience with every visit. Our staff is professional while having fun, and we operate for the greater good of the community. So anytime you're hired and you join the Capital Cigar Lounge team, you go through training and you go through an indoctrination.
I felt at home. I just want to throw that out there. I felt at home as soon as I walked in.
Because that's culture.
We felt like we were at home. So go
Leadership
ahead.
is synonymous with culture. The culture you create great leaders when you create great culture. And your cultures are driven by your mission and your values. Because see, your values are synonymous with what you believe. And what you believe is synonymous with the way you behave. And the way you behave dictates your outcome. So those values are very important. So this back room, as you asked me the question.
Yeah, we're VIP right now. We're VIP right now.
Yeah, this is our member lounge. And we wanted to have a part of the model that was more synonymous with strictly business while entertainment being what I call the sub-headline. And so we've got 82 members. All of our members are entrepreneurs or business folks. I won't call out their names on cameras, but you can look at the lockers. And in 3 years, we've had $10 million worth of business transaction,
Wow.
member to member. Because you got to think about it, Billy. What happens is, you're smoking a cigar. You don't intend to go into the relationship expecting something in return. But you're a construction guy. You're a house flipper. You're in here smoking cigars, and you're finding out about each other's families. And you say, well, Billy, what do you do? Oh, I'm scrubbing. What do you do? I flip houses. Now all of a sudden you're working together.
Mm-hmm.
That's what has happened organically here in this private lounge. Our members have access even when the public lounge is closed. They pay individual members $750 a quarter. You've got your corporate members $1,000 a quarter, but they get 3 members on one membership. And it's really not about the discount to them. They get a discount on product, but it's more about who's in the room. Because as the sign says, you sit with winners, the conversation is different.
Love it. I love
conversation.
that.
And winners are back here.
I do agree with that, and especially with us working in real estate, it's all networking. Like, you can spend a lot on marketing, but at the end of the day, the biggest deals you make, the best deals you make, are just on conversations over a beer, or a cigar.
Yeah,
that's right. Right.
So that's awesome that you guys are creating that. You have an impressive resume.
Yeah.
Oh man!
And I want to spend a few minutes talking about it. Can you kind of give us like I don't want to say elevator short version of it, but just like a condensed version, because it's quite lengthy.
Sure. Dan, I've been blessed to just have some wonderful experiences, man. I'm a teenage dad. I'm just getting back from Kansas because I celebrated, my wife and I celebrated our daughter's 40th birthday. I had a 40-year-old daughter.
Congratulations.
With her husband and 4 grandkids. And this young lady was born when I was 17 years of age, and so I had to make some decisions. I married her mom at the time, even though it didn't lasted 17 years, but, and we're still all friends. She and her husband were there last night, but I joined the Marine Corps to take care of my kid. This kid needed benefits. And at 17, a junior in high school, anytime I would take her to the doctor, I had to come out of my pocket with cash, that I had hustled from working at the grocery store, bagging groceries and taking groceries out to cars, And so I left the Marine Corps after 4.5 years in 1986. And I joined American Express as a security guard. And my mentor, who's now my friend and mentor, Malcolm Mitchell, was the only Black executive in a firm of 6,000 people in Greensboro, North Carolina.
Oh, wow.
This guy noticed me, because in the security guard uniform, I wore it like my Marine Corps uniform. I wore it with pride. It was all big when I got him, and I took it to my little, seamstress and said, tighten this thing up, man, so it looks like dress blues. And I had polished shoes. And so the guy noticed me, and he gave me an opportunity to become a credit authorizer. And so anyway, the rest is history. 10 years at American Express. I was promoted numerous times.
Where was that at?
In Greensboro, North Carolina.
Okay.
Yep. Malcolm changed my life. And the only thing he ever asked me to do was pay it forward. Malcolm Mitchell, he's retired now. He's just 10 years older than I am, but man changed my life because he gave me that one opportunity to get off the security desk when I had no skills, no credentials, nothing. As a matter of fact, when he told Human Resources that he was going to hire the security guard as a credit authorizer, they told him no because I did not have the qualifications. And Malcolm said, I'm taking a chance on this kid, something special about it. And the man changed my life. So 10 years at American Express.
He wasn't wrong.
Yeah, God's grace, man. He wasn't, yeah. And so, and then I followed Malcolm to QVC in Chesapeake, Virginia, did a few years at QVC, and then went on to work for a large Midwestern bank, Key Bank, out of Cleveland, Ohio. Okay. That was a great opportunity. In 9 years with Ford Motor Company, on the credit side, I ran big operations there. My last job with Ford was in Las Vegas, Nevada. I was in charge of what was called the left coast. So the entire territory from Alaska all the way down to Hawaii, which is about a $20 billion portfolio. And then from there, I went to work for USAA out of San Antonio, Texas. I had 2 operations, one in San Antonio, one in Phoenix, large operations again. And then I was recruited to run a global part of JP Morgan Chase's business. That's when I moved to New York.
Okay.
And that was during the financial crisis. Right. So you had a lot of stuff happening then, with the implosion of our economic system. And so I had teams in Manila, Cebu, Mexico, India, and across North America. And I learned a lot. It was a tough period. But then I got a phone call about a job here in Nebraska to be the chief operating officer for Cabela's Bank. I moved here in 2014. I recruited 2 people to come with me from JP Morgan, Diane Cole and Lady Anderson. The bank here was in some trouble. So we worked with a team of leaders and we basically fixed the bank. Cabela's Cabela's retail stores started to have some challenges. So anyway, we had to sell the company. We sold Cabela's to Bass Pro. We sold the bank to Capital One. And I was on the deal team. That was a 2-year-long transaction. Not long after, Governor Pete Ricketts called me and asked if I would join his cabinet to lead the economy for the state of Nebraska. So I started that job October 7th, 2019. I testified in front of our legislature in December, and they took an immediate vote afterwards, and I was confirmed by legislature and went on a number of trade mission. Then COVID hit.
Oh man,
the world, man. Listen, man. But listen, what Marines, you listen, you run to the fight. So it's, guys, it's easy. I always say this: it's easy to be a leader when things are going well. Think about it in life and in business. Yeah. When everything's going well,
facts.
Everybody wants to be out front.
Yeah.
You want to, rah.
Yeah.
You find out who your real leaders are when things get tough. Like when you don't know exactly how you're going to make it, and you have to rely on grit and on faith and on God and on your friends and who's in the trenches with you. You find out who your real friends are when things are tough.
Yeah.
Because all those hangers on will fall off, but your real friends will call and check on you. Billy, how you doing, man? You hanging in there? Just checking on you. Dan, what's going on? What can I do to help? That's what your real friends will do.
Right.
And you can see the state of Nebraska. I mean, I talk for hours about strategically the things that we did for our economy to bounce back faster than any other economy in the entire United States.
Isn't it the lowest unemployment?
The lowest unemployment in the history of tracking that number.
In history.
Yeah, I did read that. I did read that. So, man.
That's telling me something to be proud of.
That's sure.
That's a huge deal.
Yeah, I mean, numerous accomplishments in terms of the way this state reacted in what I call wartime, putting almost $8 billion of liquidity into our economy in about 30 days in order to stabilize our economy. That was PPP money, CARES money, economic injury disaster loan money, and the banks still lending and to institutions. A lot of that money turned into grants. All of that was necessary to keep our economy from dipping too low, so we came back faster. And then our agriculture, which never shut down because we feed the world. Yeah, ag tech. Not agriculture, ag tech, technology. And that within itself is a stabilizing force in our economy that allowed us to continue to pay taxes and keep the state going.
Yeah. And one thing that you were mentioning off camera was how there's a lot of money in Nebraska. If you could elaborate on that, and also
what you thought of Nebraska before you moved.
It was funny because when the recruiter called me, I didn't know a lot about Nebraska other than, Warren Buffett. I knew the reputation about, corn and ag and cows. And I knew that Nebraska had a football team that used to be good. That's what I knew. It was it.
Oh,
man. I was very surprised. Yeah. I hope they get better.
Me too.
That's my prayer,
Wearing the hat right now.
That's right. I see you repping. You repping the colors. Yeah.
But like you said earlier, right now we're in the trenches with them.
We're in the trenches. That's right.
So I'm not letting go.
That's right. Don't let go. No, Billy, don't let go. So I get here and I meet all these incredible business leaders, that are under the radar. The thing that I think was amazing to me was not that they had money. That was amazing, the amount of wealth, but that they were humble, like kind people, and they would give you their cell phone number, like Brooklyn, New York. You meet the equivalent of a super rich person in New York City, they'll never give you the cell phone number.
Oh, yeah.
You'll never get in touch with them. They're going to have 10 admins, and the first meeting will always be canceled. Here in Nebraska, you can get to a Mike Dunlap who founded NELDAT. You can get to a Todd Duncan or a Robert Duncan who founded Duncan Aviation. You can ride around. You can see Alice Dittman who founded Cornhusker Bank. I mean, all of these people that have tons of power and influence. You can get to a Mark LeBaron. You see a Mark LeBaron in a Leon's grocery store who his father founded Lincoln Industries, but he grew it. So every Harley Davidson in the world, on the planet, you look at the chrome, is made right here in Lincoln, Nebraska. So you have those kind of leaders that will give you their time, that commit to the community, and that are kind. I'd never seen that dynamic before with what I call rich people.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy because I never thought otherwise. It's like, I came here in my teens. And that's kind of all I've seen. So,
we're used to it. We take it for granted.
Almost take it for granted. You really do.
Yeah,
you take it for granted, which is why I wrote the book, Something in the Water, the story of Lincoln's founders and builders, because I kept meeting all these people. Bill Kubley, one of the largest golf course developers in the world. I mean, at any point in time, he's got 50 to 100 people at the Masters in Augusta, Georgia. It's what he does, and people know that.
Can you touch on what the book is about?
Yeah, absolutely.
We were talking about it off camera too.
Yeah, the book for me is really a tribute to the city of Lincoln, specific to the entrepreneurs that basically built this town. And it outlines and defines the fact that entrepreneurship and the free enterprise system work for these guys. And they got this agriculture background because there's farming, and when you work on a farm, you have to figure things out. And so these guys have taken that into various industries. And I had never met so many entrepreneurs of this level of financial influence in such a small town in my life. So I was meeting these folks and I said, this is not normal. This is not normal. It's got to be something in the water here because this is not normal. And I'm a student of business. I study business all the time. I am a business nerd. I'm reading all the time.
Can you touch on how important that is and has been in your life?
It's about preparation because at any given time, I've got to go a mile long and 50 feet deep on any subject specific to our economy and how it relates to the national economy and to the international and the global economy. So me digesting information is a part of my preparation process. So when I get here and I'm seeing all of this, it was not on my radar. And so that kind of bothered me because I'm slipping. I didn't know about this. Something in the water. And a good friend of mine, Jay Wilkerson, who's the founder of Firespring, I said, Jay, you guys, this is just normal to you, but this is really not normal.
Yeah.
Like per capita, I would dare say, if you look at the entrepreneurship rate based on this level of scale, I would say Lincoln is probably in the top percentile in the country. And
I agree.
So I said, somebody should document these stories. So he called me one day, says, Tony, meet me at the Lincoln Country Club, where my wife and I are members there also. So we walk in the country club. He reaches in his briefcase and he pulls out this book cover. And it says, Something in the Water, the story of Lincoln's founders and builders. It says Tony Goins at the bottom. I said, Jay, what are you trying to do? What are you doing here, man?
That's awesome.
My buddy, Jay Wilkerson. Jay, what are you doing? He says, you're going to tell these stories. I said, why me? He says, because you've come in, it's all normal. Like you guys said, we're used to this. This is like normal to us. But you've come in and you see something different. So we chose 20 entrepreneurs. We listed 20 questions, the same questions. I use an iPad and a lapel mic, and a good friend who worked with Jay, Phil Whitmarsh, with Red Brush, which is a publishing company. I interviewed all 20 people. It took 3 years to do the book. We did book launch in July of last year, and it's been a success.
So it's new.
It's been in existence more than a year
right now.
Yeah. Somethinginthewater.com.
Okay.
And all the money goes to charity. I didn't take a dime of it.
Oh, man.
It goes to a nonprofit called Just Do Business, which is a part of the Do More Good movement.
Okay.
And it's designed to, help entrepreneurs.
Yeah, we'll have to link that then.
Yeah, for sure. We'll throw a link
I'll
the show.
So it's just been incredible, man.
So I can't help but notice, and I'm gonna have to say something. Like you definitely win the award for sharpest dressed guest we've had.
Yeah,
thank you.
But with you mentioning how you had started that security job, and you tailored your clothes.
I did.
You had polished shoes.
Yeah.
Can you speak to how important it is for you, how you carry yourself? I mean, you walk into a room and there's just energy, like you can definitely tell,
Yeah.
So it's like, and how much of that is attributed to your physical appearance to others, and then how has that translated into business for you?
Dan, that's a good question, because this is what I say. Listen, leadership is about motivation, inspiration, and energy. Management is about budgets, controls, and organization and execution, but you need both. And so what you see now is years of work and years of practice and years of people that have mentored me and years of what I call self-learning around preparation and mimicking leaders that I respect. You know, as a youngster at American Express, I respected Ken Chenault. And I would watch Ken. I would watch his personal appearance. And Ken Chenault used to wear French cuff shirt. Walter Johnson, who as a kid was the first man that I saw wear French cuff shirts and a suit, you know, and he was my neighbor across the street. He became really my surrogate father, just passed away not too long ago. I would watch these various leaders. I would also study a lot of leaders in their speech patterns. Reggie Van Lee, who was with Booz Allen for years, who's now a friend and mentor. I saw Reggie Van Lee on TV, and all of a sudden, through a relationship, I ended up meeting him in New York, and now we're friends. He did this huge opening of his home in the suburb of Houston, Texas, and invited me to the ribbon cutting of his home. Wow. And you know,
that's amazing.
And for me, it's just you take opportunities to interact with people, and the first impression is always the lasting impression. My mother used to always say, you know, the book should never be judged by its cover, but it will. Mm-hmm. It will. Mm-hmm. And depending upon your profession and what you're in, you dress for the part that you're in. As a kid, I wanted to be in business. And so, you know, that's kind of changed now, you know, because look at Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah.
You know, but, you know, growing up, the way to that business was through a suit and tie. Yeah. And through your personal appearance when you walked in the room, your vocabulary and your knowledge. And so I've worked on that for years. And I think it's important that you make people not feel good, but you treat people with respect and kindness, because people want to be around people like that.
Yep. Love it.
You know, and with my team, you know, I've worked for people, Billy, that when they would walk in the room, you'd be like, oh crap, he's here. You know what I mean? Crap, this guy's here, you know. And I said, I never wanted to be that guy. I want, when I walk in there, I want Derek to be happy to see me. Yeah. Because he knows that I'm going to bring him something good. I'm going to bring him some good energy. I'm going to clean some ashtrays and help him out. I can't pour drinks, you know, because, but I'm going to do something. I want him to feel that from me. And that's important. And I think every leader should have that, because that creates culture. And when you have good culture, you hire good people, you hire a great team, you know, you don't have massive numbers of turnover because people want to be a part of something special.
Right. So that was one thing that I noticed. As soon as you walk in here, like I said, you feel at home, the culture, you feel it in the air. Mm-hmm. And then like Dan said, as soon as you walked in, there's this certain energy that you portray. And we love like the mental side of things. If you could give us maybe some advice on what are some of the stuff that you've done to mentally prepare you and get to where you're at now.
Yeah. Man, you guys are really good at this podcast because you ask all the right questions. Man. You've been doing it for a while, right, Billy?
Yeah.
I can tell, man. I can tell, because it is mental, man. And listen, it's not easy. It's not easy for me. And I'm not afraid to say this, man. The foundation of the way I feel and think mentally comes from my faith. It just comes from my faith, man. My pastor, Simi Richard, is my dear friend and my confidant. I grew up in the church, but it's not about religion, but it's about understanding that a lot of times, the math doesn't make sense. And so faith has to be a part of it. It's a part of who I am. And my belief in God is a part of who I am. And so that helps me because I've been in so many different life situations where the math didn't add up, things didn't add up. And through prayer and people's prayer for me, I've been able to make it through. So that gives me this belief that at the end of the day, what God has for me, that's what I'm going to have. Mm-hmm. Now, from a mental standpoint, I do a lot of self-talk. I mean, there are times and man, I'm going through challenges, but see, you know, the Bible says to whom much is given, much shall be required. So regardless as to what I'm going through, when I get out of that my car, or when I get up in the morning, I've got to talk to myself to say, okay, as a leader, you're always on stage. And if I walk in here and I'm in a grumpy mood and you know, I'm looking down and I'm going to bring the room down.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to feel the same way. Well, you know, but if I walk in and you know, I'm upbeat and I'm energetic and I'm speaking to people and I'm doing what I'm supposed to do in terms of my interactions, then people will feel good about that. So to answer your question, it's about my faith, and it's also about self-talk.
Love that.
Self-talk is I'm talking to myself and say, okay, I know you got this going on, but you got to get your ass in gear.
Yeah.
Goins. Like don't put that aside for right now. It's going to be all right. We're going to deal with it. So I'm just talking to myself in my head. And I'm saying, okay. And then that has to translate to your body language. It has to translate to your body language, the way you walk, the way you come in. And I'm constantly talking to myself to get myself in the right mindset and the right frame of mind and the right physical movement, so that you create what is really called in the Marine Corps, it's called command presence. You know, in the civilian world, you know, they use the term executive presence, but that's what I do.
Can you touch a little bit on that?
Yeah. I think, you know, command presence or executive presence, I mean, those terms are really synonymous, but
that's your next book, Tony.
Yeah, could be command presence. You know, that's a common term in the military, but it's your bearing, it's your language, it is the way you treat people, it is your knowledge. So are you knowledgeable about yourself? What is your bearing? You know, the way you wear your Marine Corps uniform, judgment. You know, it's all of these sets of traits that create your bearing or your command presence when you walk in the room. When you're on stage, you know, what the Marine Corps teaches you is a lot of it's about motions and gestures. So you see I naturally use my hands, but I mean, that's taught. You know, typically what I try not to do, sometimes I have to, is not stand behind a podium. It's always my preference to have a lapel mic so that I can be out on stage and there's motion and movement on stage so that I'm constantly scanning the audience. It's about voice inflection. You know, you don't want to be monotone mic, same tone. Right. You got to know when to take your voice up, when to take it down, when to pause to create impact. All of that is part of command presence. And it's all learned.
And just through practice, I'm sure.
Through practice, lots of practice.
What's
Tons
your
of practice.
One question that I would love to ask you is, do you have like a morning routine?
Yeah.
If you could touch on your morning routine,
absolutely,
to get your mind right, get your body right. Or...
Absolutely. As soon as my eyes open, the first thing I do is I said, thank God for letting me see another day. Because you got to think, there are hundreds of thousands of people that die in their sleep. You know what I mean? Like they don't have a chance to wake up. So every day you wake up, that's a gift, man. Like that's a real gift. And I got to be grateful for that.
To add on to that, I'm sure I've said it on the podcast. There was a book I read where it was a billionaire. Every morning he would not get off his bed without shedding a tear.
Oh yeah,
of thinking of all the things he was thankful for.
Yeah. Oh man,
so I love that you say that. But continue on.
Yeah, and then you know, I try to have a routine of reading a Bible verse or two. I've got some friends, Kevin Shin and Clifton. They'll send me my Bible verse. They push it out to me. I can show it to you on my phone. You see what time it comes in the morning. I get up every morning at 4:30 a.m.
Okay,
that's a non-negotiable.
Okay,
that's a non-negotiable.
How long have you been doing that? Forever?
Oh, forever. Sleep is overrated. Okay. The doctor would tell you different, but I'm up at 4:30.
I'll take your word for it.
Because in my opinion, you know, now as I just turned 58, so I know I've got to increase my sleep because my metabolism is getting a little funky on me right now. But at the end of the day, if I'm up at 4:30, I thank God for waking me up. I can get my Bible verse in and get my gym clothes in. I can get to the gym, put some weight up, get me some cardio in. Get back, get dressed, all my suits, everything already laid out. And I can.
Well, while you're doing your cardio, what do you have? Do you have some headphones on or anything? Just quiet?
Just music in the gym.
Okay.
Jay-Z.
Awesome. Oh, man.
Yeah, I'll show you a video. I'm rocking Jay-Z. That's right. That gives me a little motivation.
Yeah.
You know, driving to the gym, I'm playing gospel music.
Okay.
But when I get to the gym, we cranking Jay-Z.
Change it up. Okay.
Yeah, it might be a little Tupac in there. My man Nick Reimer. I go to Nick Reimer's gym.
Okay.
Over on the north side. And so then I come back, get suit on, and on my way back from the gym, I immediately switch from the gospel music to CNBC. and it's the cable news business channel because I'm starting to follow the markets.
Okay.
And then I'm constantly getting what I call so then I grab my Wall Street Journal online. On the weekends, I'll read that paper in hand. On the weekends, I got to have paper in hand. But during the week, it's dynamic and it's moving fast. So I have my Wall Street Journal in, Harvard Business Review, and then Smart Business. And I have all these alerts. So whenever there's a news headline, something happens, I get an alert. And what I can do is I can read the headline. And if it's something that I need to know, then I can open it up and I can, read the entire article. But all of that is happening before 7 o'clock in the morning. Dang. So by the time most people are just getting up, I've already digested the global information.
Yeah. To touch on it too, real quick, Tony, there and probably a book or something too, where let's say that if you're used to waking up at 8 in the morning, but you start waking up at 6 in the morning, that's 2 hours more that you're alive, you're enjoying life. So if you do 2 times 5 days, that's 10 more hours. And then if you do that for 40 years, you live that many more hours to enjoy life. I don't know.
That is kind of crazy.
I like that. I like that.
It's like that compound effect.
It really
exactly.
is. That's real.
Yeah.
That's
so
real.
I love that you wake up at 4:30.
I do.
Okay, so
that's my routines.
But so it's 7 a.m. You've done more in 2.5 or 3.5 hours than most people have done throughout their whole day. So what's next for the rest of the day?
Well, then it's time to go to the office. I pray with my wife before I leave to make sure she's protected and covered. My kids, my grandkids, my friends protected and covered. And it's time to go to the office, man. And, Governor Pete Ricketts is my boss, man. And he is a phenomenal leader. People underestimate the type of intellectual capacity that you need to be the CEO of the state of Nebraska, which is what Pete Ricketts is. With not just dealing with the legislature, but
I love that you
politics.
said that real quick.
That is
I want to throw this
I
out
learned a
there.
lot from Pete Ricketts, man. He's a businessman.
People forget that our state, and then you go to our country, it's a business.
It's a business.
And people forget that. People forget that. And I think once they forget that is when we start falling off to all the, and you mentioned earlier, social media. It's so easy to throw something out there. And, so I love that you said the CEO of Nebraska.
He's the CEO of Nebraska.
Love it.
And he hired me to be his chief marketing officer. I sell the state. I sell the value proposition of doing business and living in the great state of Nebraska because of our business-friendly environment, a regulatory environment that allows you to grow and thrive, the ability to be able to assess leaders that can make decisions and do so with a level of speed that you can't do anywhere else. That speed is something that is a real part of our value proposition. And then we've got, there's a real quality of life here. You don't have the same kind of traffic you have in New York. You don't have the same kind of air quality you have in New York. You can make a good living. Your dollar goes further. Now, listen, we are working on, some of our tax challenges, but there are a lot of offsets. I don't let people kind of linger on the fact that, our taxes may be a little bit higher. You got to look at other parts of our economy that may offset some of those taxes. Nevertheless, we're working on that. But there's a real value proposition to live here. And it's my job to sell that, to grow the state and help businesses expand.
I love that. Love it. Love it. And I want to touch also, so you have your lounge here, beautiful lounge, and what you're doing with the state. What else are you doing? You got your book. Is there other businesses that you're doing or thinking of doing in the future?
Right now I'm just kind of, I'm really focused on my business, the state, of course, but my wife and family. My kids, my grandkids. I got a 17. My youngest daughter right now is a junior in college. Jayla is a junior in college, and I want to make sure that she gets the right guidance in terms of what happens with her life and her career. I got a 17-year-old granddaughter who is going to be going to UNL.
You look young, by the way.
Yeah, I was like 50.
Yeah. My oldest daughter's a banker. Her husband's a banker. So they're moving to Nebraska. So I need to get them set up and moving in the right direction. My son, Anthony II, is a basketball coach. That's the one that lived in New York, went to St. John's. He's at Boston College. At BC. Was
if
at
you
Clemson
give us
last year.
Quick tip of
so
being
family.
so busy, and that's what I was going to say. Being so busy, how do you handle being so busy and then putting family first? Like, what if you had to give me like a quick tip? Like, hey, here's what I do.
You have to work on it.
Okay.
I'm not good at it, Billy. I'm bad at it.
Love it.
Because I will get engulfed in this, and you know, I've been through a divorce before because I wasn't diligent about my family, the mother of, and it's so. Listen, man, I know my fallacies around that,
Mm-hmm.
and so a lot of family stuff I just put it on my calendar.
Yeah,
like a lot of times it's not on my calendar, it's not gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
You know, things have to be on my calendar. So, you know, if a family something comes around, you know, I put it on my calendar and I make sure that it's protected on my calendar so that I can do it.
Love that. I love it.
Real quick, I want to ask a question.
Yes, sir.
Since in your position with the state,
Mm-hmm.
you clearly come around and really in here, you're around a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of business owners, small and big.
Absolutely.
And you wrote a book about it. Is there anything that you have found that has stuck out in terms of like not just habits, but traits, or just is there anything that sticks out when you talk to all these successful people that you just kind of keep seeing over and over?
There is. And I actually wrote about some of those traits in the book. One of the traits that I saw is that they keep their people first, and they're humble and not caught up on their titles. So Joanne Martin, God rest her soul, who was the CEO of Emeritus, she really took Emeritus to where it is right now. When I met Joanne, she never said, I'm the CEO of Emeritus. She said, I'm Joanne Martin with Emeritus. And she had this wonderful disposition with her people. So to answer your question, people and culture.
And I love that. That's where the hashtag comes in.
That's right. That's right. People and culture.
Relationship matters.
The other part is they're wicked smart without wearing it on their sleeve.
Mm-hmm.
Like some people are smart and they want you to know they're smart.
Mm-hmm.
Like they ask you questions intentionally to make you feel stupid. But a common trait in all those leaders is when I say, I call it sneaky smart, because they don't come across, you know, with trying to be fancy. But you get into a negotiation with them, or you get in a situation, you will find out how smart and how mentally tough they are. But they use that smart to facilitate movement in the room. Like they use their intellect and their intelligence to make everybody else around them better, so they come out with a better outcome.
Mm.
Those are two things that I noticed about all those leaders in the book.
I love
It's
that.
incredible to see it. Incredible to see it.
Yeah.
A very different dynamic. I've seen leaders, and number one, you know, they want you to know that they're the boss, and they always want to outshine everybody in the room so that everybody in the room knows they're smarter than everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's typically the
I've
norm.
worked at places like that. Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's typically the norm.
Yeah.
But these leaders that you see, when you read the book, you will see they don't act like that.
Love it. Well, I know we're in
we got like
time
a
crunch.
little bit of time, so
I would love to like
days.
keep going on, but hopefully maybe this is not the only time we sit
Oh
down.
man, listen, I would love to come on your show again.
Awesome.
Because you guys got the same energy, man. When I walked in, you set up, I'm like, look at this, man. You know, you both, you smile. I mean, I'm telling you, man, I am a fan of what you do already.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Anything I can do to help you, the answer is yes.
I
Thank
appreciate
you. Wow.
it.
I'm meaning that
Thank
too.
you. And to wrap up the show, we always ask the same last three questions to everybody that is a guest.
Yes.
The first question that I have for you is, if you had to look back, and this is just some wisdom for our listeners.
Sure.
If you had to look back and give some advice to your younger self, what is that advice?
Man, to my younger self, if I had to look back and give advice to my younger self, I would have said, listen, I had kids very early, to be more loving to my children.
You're a family man through and through.
Yeah.
Man. I love it.
Because I was just
I
so
love
tough
it.
on them, you know.
Yeah.
And they turn out well, don't get me wrong.
Right.
But I do feel like if I had to do it all, I would have been more loving to my children in their younger stages. You know what I mean?
Mm.
I would have, without question.
All right.
Love that. I love
100%.
that. And if there was a 3-step formula to success, what are the 3 steps?
Number one is preparation, without question. Like, prepare for what you want to do before you do it. Be maniacal about preparation. What does preparation mean? That means study. That means put everything in place, visualize where you want to be, and prepare for it in a maniacal way. That's number one. I say number 2 is don't be afraid to take a tough assignment. Because
That's
when you
a really good. We never had that one.
don't be
huge.
afraid to
First
take a
time.
tough assignment.
All right.
So everybody wants to take the easy assignment. I can tell you, every assignment that I had was I already know I wasn't the first choice, Dan. Like they said, choose this guy, choose this guy, and they looked at it and said, "Oh, tell me, I don't want to do that. Too much risk." So go find Goins. He'll do it. You know, like Mikey, he'll eat anything. Go find Goins. He'll do it. Because when you take the tough assignment and you fix it and you come out on top through teamwork and through tenacity, then you'll build a reputation. Like you build a brand. It becomes part of your brand, which is how I ended up here. I had a reputation for fixing complex stuff. So that's number 2. And number 3, relationships matter. Like relationships really do matter. And build relationships without the intent of expecting anything in return.
Big, yeah, huge.
Don't expect nothing in return, but build relationships because you genuinely care about people and you genuinely want to help people. And what I will promise you is that some way, form, or fashion, it will return to you. Those 3 things.
Love that. Love it, love it, love it. And I know you got your book already, but the question that we're asking for a future book, what would be maybe like a title of a future book
or a theme.
and a theme that you're thinking?
Relationships matter.
Yeah. Love it.
Without question.
Love it, love it.
Hashtag.
There you go. There you
Relationships
go.
matter.
Dan has a couple
Is there
questions.
anything that our listeners can bring to you that would be of value to you right now?
Yeah, absolutely. Promote the state of Nebraska.
All right.
Promote our value system.
Selfless family man here.
Promote our
Yeah,
value
love it.
system.
Love it.
Understand there. So
I feel like I'm doing my job then because I promoted a lot of my music. So.
Yeah. We've hired a marketing firm called Arch Rival, Clint Runge. You heard of Red Bull?
Yeah.
You heard of Spotify?
Oh, man.
You know about Adidas?
Oh.
Arch Rival.
Small brands, a little bit.
Is that
Small
Nebraska in there? Ooh.
Nebraska's now in there.
Love
Clint
it.
Runge, Arch Rival. Shout out to Arch Rival, Clint Runge, and Elise. So the new marketing campaign for the state is called The Good Life is Calling.
All right.
So you can go to that website, The Good Life is Calling. There's an actor from Omaha, Nebraska, Adam Devine is the voice behind The Good Life is Calling. And we are shooting a set of videos that will be all over the world. You'll see them on CNBC, Fox Business, MSNBC. Q1 of 2022, we are on a marketing offense.
Awesome.
Man.
Like you've never seen before.
I'm excited because
Yeah.
I do video stuff on the side too.
Yeah,
and I'm
yeah.
like, it's gonna be huge to see because you
Yeah.
usually don't see that kind of stuff in Nebraska.
Yeah.
I'm going to connect you guys with Arch Rival.
Awesome. I would
I
love
will.
that. Thank
That's
you.
a done deal.
Yeah.
I'll connect
Awesome.
you guys
Yeah,
with
yeah.
Arch Rival
That-
because you
that's
can help
awesome.
promote it with what you do.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, and I even have a mixtape called The Good Life. So
Are you serious? Oh,
Found
man.
it.
Got a rap.
Oh, it is on. I'm telling you, man. It is on. I love it.
So where can people find out more about you, man? Like you're definitely an interesting guy, and I think that there's so much in your head that I would
Yeah.
love to just, I don't know how. Are you pretty active on social media?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
where
man.
can people find out more about
Well, I'm on Facebook, Anthony Goins. I'm on Instagram. That's really about it. And LinkedIn. I'm very
LinkedIn.
active.
Okay.
I'm more active on LinkedIn than anything.
We'll link all that there.
Yeah, yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
What's your
Facebook.
Instagram? Is it just your name or
A Goins 50.
50? Okay,
Mhm.
awesome. We'll throw that on there
Hey,
too.
Goins 50.
This has been,
Yeah.
honestly, I'll say right now, this is my favorite.
Yeah,
episode.
yeah. This
Definitely,
is,
Man,
like,
thank you.
this is
Very
amazing.
kind.
Shortest and my favorite.
Yeah, like-
Oh, it's all good,
You
man.
got a meeting
Right,
coming
yeah,
up.
yeah.
Thank
Got
you
a
for having
meeting.
us.
Absolutely.
This has been such a great experience. I'm really excited to follow up down the road, and hopefully we
Sure.
can have a little more time and kind
Yeah.
of see how things develop. And
And thank you for your time too.
Yeah.
We
Oh,
really
absolutely.
do appreciate
I'm
it.
honored
So,
to do so.
everybody out there listening, make sure you guys subscribe to all platforms, the Minority Report Podcast, YouTube, also Instagram, the Minority Report Podcast. And let's get it, baby. Vámonos.
Baby, let's get it. My hand to please don't segregate. Dress in a suit, I can't relate. Minority Report, can't ignore. Being rich from poor and your credit score. My hand to please don't segregate.